Hello everybody, how you guys doing today? Oh, that was okay, but I think we can do better. I said, how you guys doing today? Wow, that's what I like to hear. Now, my name is Jojo, this is Adam and Fernando. Nobody really likes them. And we work for a company called Conservation Ambassadors. And what it is we do at our center is we give a home to rescue wildlife. Either to animals that have been injured somehow and can't be set free back out to the wild. Those animals are sent to us at our center. Or other times we have a big problem, especially here in the United States, we have a problem with people trying to make pets out of wild animals. That never ever works. It's also against the law, and those animals are taken away and sent to our center as well. Then what we do is give these animals lots of love, lots of attention, and lots of food. And the animals that we train to travel, going mostly to school groups, giving us a chance to share some amazing rescue wildlife up close and personal. Now we've actually been partnering with SeaWorld for the last 29 years. And we've gotten to witness some of the amazing rescue work that they continue to do. In fact, since SeaWorld first opened their gates, they have rescued and released over 40,000 animals. Definitely deserves a round of applause. That is honestly incredible. They're some of the best at what they do. So when SeaWorld asked us to come share some of our rescued wildlife with you, we were super excited to do so. And we brought some awesome animals for you guys to meet. But for our first guest, I'm needing the help of 5, and only 5, very brave volunteers. Let's see. How about, you in the white there? Yeah, you come on down. Let's see. How about you in the white there? You come on down. You guys know what my favorite color is? No, it's blue. Let's see. How about you up there in the bucket hat? Yeah. How about you in the blue shirt and the black hat? I need one more. Who's it gonna be? Oh man. How about you in the tie-dye here? Yeah, come on down. All right, everybody, line up in front of the table here. In front of the table. The front of the table. This thing. Yes. Line up, shoulder to shoulder, like you like each other. Stand up straight. I need all of you guys to put your arms out just like this. Now, you're gonna help us hold our next guest. Her name is Julia Squeezer. Check this girl out. Yes, this is Julia Squeezer, and she is 13 feet of Burmese python. She's really nice. You're good. You're okay. Put your hand out. There you go. She's really sweet, I promise you. You don't have to if you don't want to. You good? Let's see. Let's give her a round of applause. She can do it. You got it. There we go. She's very sweet. There we go. All right. I'll tell you what. I'll put my hand right there. Now, we hear all kinds of crazy stories about these big snakes. Like there's a guy walking through the jungle. The big snake smells him in the area. The guy starts to run. The snake starts chasing him down. Leaps out of the trees, wraps around the guy's neck, swallows him and eats him. Well, is that really the way it works? No, this is a big snake, but she can only eat something about 5 times the size of her head. And the fastest that this snake can ever move is a whopping 1 whole mile an hour. So instead what she does is she'll sit there in the leaf litter, blending in perfectly with those beautiful scales of hers, and let's say a prey animal walks out in front. She'll strike out, boom, and she'll grab on with over 80 very, very sharp, backwards facing teeth. But she's not venomous. Do you know how you can tell she's not venomous? It's because I'm holding her. She's a constrictor. She kills by squeezing things. And what's your name here? Norel, do you know what section you're holding? That's the squeezing section of the snake. You guys want to see how that works? All right, here it is. Okay. She'll use that section to wrap around her prey, and when that prey is dead, then she'll start to swallow. That big lump will sit in her stomach for about 4 or 5 days. Then 4 or 5 days later, it gets pushed down to my friend on the end. What's the name on the end? Harrison, do you know what he's holding? That's the dangerous end of the snake, because that's where she goes to the bathroom. I think we're safe, because this girl here only eats about once a month, only goes to the bathroom about once a month as well. But let's give a hand to our volunteers. You guys did an amazing job. Back to your seats, everybody. Awesome. Now, we got Julia Squeezer here because she was actually being kept as a classroom pet. And as the principal saw how big she was getting, he said no way she's allowed to be kept in the classroom, and that's when she sent us at our center. And I'd like to say that her story doesn't happen a lot, but we get a call for a big snake like this at least once a month at our center, and people decide they don't want to take care of it anymore. I do think she's absolutely beautiful though. That is Julia Squeezer. Let's say goodbye to the Burmese Python.
And this is Whizzer, one of my favorite animals on the planet, and he is the turkey vulture. Gotta say, I love that bald head of his. I just really hope I don't look like him in 10 years. Now, turkey vultures, they're gonna get up in the morning, and the first thing they do is spread those big wings and sunbathe. And when he's feeling nice and warm, he takes flight. Now, once up in the air, you'll start to see him do some big lazy circles. Now, those circles may look lazy, but he is actually working. He's sniffing and smelling for the grossest, disgusting, stinky, rotten things that he can find. And when he finds something gross that's been dead for a while, do you know what he says? Yummy, exactly, lunchtime, and flies on down to make a meal out of it. That's because vultures eat dead stuff. Now, many people may hear that and you may think, ew, but if we're being honest with ourselves, most of us eat dead stuff too. Nobody's chasing a cow down the road to chew on its leg. The only difference is that vultures eat meat that has so much bacteria and germs in it that it would otherwise make us sick to our stomachs. And because he's sticking his head into rotting meat, he has that bald head, so none of it will get stuck to his feathers. Now, turkey vultures, they also cool off and clean their legs in a really gross way. Would you guys like to hear about that? All right, I warned you. They cool off their legs by peeing down them. You heard me right, by peeing down their leg. That's why we named him Whizzer. Now, Whizzer's been with us for over 17 years because somebody had the nerve to shoot this big, beautiful bird in his left wing. But because bird bones are hollow, when their bones break, they usually don't heal properly, and that's what happened to Whizzer here. He can still fly for a little bit, but not enough to survive on his own out there in the wild. Now, our next animal coming out may also be famous for flying, even though his hooves have never left the ground. But let's say goodbye to Whizzer, the beautiful turkey vulture.
Now, this is Yukon, and he is the reindeer. Now, reindeer are actually the domesticated version of the caribou, and these guys have been domesticated in Northern Europe for the past 7,000 years. And although Yukon looks like he's the victim of a bad haircut, he's just shedding his winter coat for the summer season. But reindeer are incredible animals. They have the second widest hoof out of all the deer species. Those extra wide hooves of theirs work like snowshoes, allowing them to walk through the Arctic tundras with ease. They also act like paddles, allowing them to even swim across rushing riverways. But my favorite thing to talk about are those big antlers. These fuzzy bone growths are the new antlers coming back in for the season. See, every single deer species sheds their antlers every single year. Those big antlers fall off their head as they grow back in. They're covered in that skin and velvet coating. Once they reach that full size, they'll rub all that off, and that's when you're left with the beautiful bone antlers that we're used to seeing. But reindeer and caribou are special. They're the only deer species that both males and females get the antlers. The males, they use theirs to fight for all the girls during mating season. Sounds familiar? But the females use theirs to protect their young. So they keep them later in the year. That way they have that fresh set when the babies are being born. Because those calves are up and walking within the first hour of life. Mom is right by their side the entire time. Now, what he's doing right now is kind of cool. See, deer have a 4-chambered stomach like cows do. So basically, he'll slosh his food around his belly, he throws it back up into his mouth, he chews it up again. It's like a gross version of bubble gum. Then he swallows it down to that next chamber. That allows him to eat almost any kind of vegetation. But Yukon here, he actually came to our center from a petting zoo in Missouri. So this petting zoo thought it'd be a good idea to add 3 male reindeer to their collection. But they quickly realized that reindeer do not make a good petting zoo animal. These guys are big, strong animals, and the males especially can become dangerous during the mating season. So they asked if we could give Yukon and his two half-brothers a home, and we were happy to do so. And the more we learned about reindeer, the more fascinated by them we became. In fact, reindeer were originally domesticated as a source of food, leather, and a mode of transportation. These guys would actually pull sleighs through the snow, but Santa was the only one that got them to fly. But let's say goodbye to Yukon, the amazing reindeer.
Now this is Nova. What is she? Who? I'm just messing with you guys. That's my only owl joke. But this is Nova. She is the great horned owl. These birds are specialized to be able to fly and hunt at night. A couple things to help them. Number one, those eyes. Those big yellow eyes of hers are so good at seeing at night that if it were so dark out here that we couldn't see a single thing, she'd be able to see just about as well as we can right now without any issues whatsoever. But there's actually a problem with those eyes. Those eyes are so darn big that they're actually stuck right inside of her owl's skull. Looking straight forward. So if she want to look to the left, she has to turn her whole head to the left. If she want to look to the right, she has to turn her whole head to the right. That's the first time that ever worked. That's why she has the special neck first. Now it's like the cartoons. They can't turn their heads around and around. She did that and had to pop right off. What she does have though is 14 cervical vertebrae, which allows her to turn her head 270 degrees almost the full way around once. Not only that, she has special wings that are coated in some feathers called comb feathers. And those comb feathers break up the wind, granting her the gift of silent flight. Now this also helps her out, is while she's out there hunting in the forest, she isn't just looking for her food, she's listening for that food. And if she was up there going flappity, 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 she wouldn't be able to hear all the mice and rats on the forest floor. Now those mice and rats also can't hear her coming, and she'll swoop right on down and grab her prey. A bird this size eats about 2 to 3 rodents every single night, and they're out there making sure that we don't get overrun by the rodent world. Now Nova here was actually flying free about 12 years ago when she accidentally flew down right in front of a car. Now the person tried to stop, but couldn't, and they hit this poor bird, shattering her left wing. Now they bravely scooped her up and took her to a rescue vet that saved her life, but that left wing of hers never healed up enough for her to be able to survive back out in the wild. That's why she's here with us at our center, and we love being able to share it with you, but brace yourselves, because our next guest is a predator on a completely different scale. But that's Nova, the great horned owl!
This is Spike, and he is the North American alligator. Now, the first question people always ask me is, JoJo, why doesn't he bite you? And you guys know what the answer to that question is? Well, Spike here, he only bites Dodger fans. see, Spike, he's been doing educational programs with us for the past 32 years. See, 32 years ago, he found me and kept in a man's bathtub in Los Angeles, and he's been helping us do education programs ever since. But alligators, they are perfectly set up for life in the southern swamps. Everything from their nose being positioned on top of their snout, to work like a snorkel, allowing them to breathe, to these amazing spikes that run down their entire body and act like armor and protect them from other alligators. Then, he's got that big, long, muscular tail. That tail of his is the most well-muscled part of his body. He can pump that tail along and swim faster than a bottlenose dolphin can. Take that, Dolphin Stadium. He even has 2,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in that mouth. Whenever he grabs a hold of something, you can bet it's always his. Now, there's a couple ways to tell the difference between alligators and crocodiles. Number one is in the shape of the snout. Alligators have that very short, rounded snout, while crocodiles tend to have a longer, narrow snout. That's the first way to tell. The second way to tell is to look at the teeth. The largest tooth on an alligator points down, while the largest tooth on a crocodile points up. But if you're close enough to tell, you might be a little bit too close. I'll tell you what, Spike here, he's actually an animal that gives me hope. These guys give me hope because we almost lost the North American alligator. We almost lost our largest reptile because of this size skin of his. See, so many alligators were killed for that skin to make boots and belts and wallets and purses out of them. Now, we almost lost the largest reptile that we have here in the United States. But you guys know what happened? People got involved. They started protecting the alligators. They protected the alligators' habitats. And now these guys have made such a strong comeback that there are over 2 million alligators in Florida alone. They are thriving once again in our southern swamps. But let's say goodbye to Spike, the North American alligator. No, wait, no, you say, see you later? You know what, I did that joke in the school once. And this little kindergartner came up to us at the end of the program, and he said, see you later, alligator to Spike. So I said, in a while, crocodile. And this little kindergartner looked me dead in the eye and said, see you soon, you big baboon. Our next guest is an amazing animal that happens to be found right here in California. But let's give Spike a round of applause one last time.
And this is Pocket, the Virginia opossum. Now, these were originally an East Coast animal, but they became widespread around the United States when the railroads were being built. Believe it or not, they were brought state to state to be used as a food source. Now, Pocket has a home here with us because a few years ago, there was a lady driving her car down the road late at night, and she saw a ball of fur dash across the road. Now, she tried to stop, she did, but unfortunately, she hit that ball of fur. So she got out of her car and quickly realized that she had hit an opossum. But this lady was smart, thankfully. This lady, she read somewhere that opossums, they're actually marsupials. And marsupials are animals that have pouches on their bellies to carry their what in? Their what in? Their lunches. No, I'm kidding. Of course, you guys are right. It is to carry their babies. So she bravely reached into that pouch and realized there were still 5 little baby opossums inside, about the size of our thumb. So she bravely scooped them up, took them all to a rehab center where they would have the best chance to make it back out there in the wild. And everything was going great for a while, except for with little Pocket here, who they discovered shortly after was almost completely blind. Now, that's why Pocket was unable to be released with his siblings, but has a home here with us. Now, Pocket is 3 years old. Now, that may seem pretty young, but the lifespan of an opossum is about 3 to 4 years. But check this, in those 3 to 4 years, a mama opossum, she can give birth to over 50 babies. 50 babies. I don't know about you guys, but if I had 50 children, I'd only want to live 3 years too. Pocket is one amazing animal, has the distinction of being North America's only marsupial. I think he is one awesome possum. Let's say goodbye to Pocket. And our next animal coming out may be one of the most iconic in all of North America. Check her out.
This is Spirit, and she is the bald eagle. Now you guys will definitely be able to see why we have Spirit at our center. See, she was on one of her very first flights up in Sitka, Alaska, when she tried to steal a fish from a commercial fisherman. This person didn't take kindly to that and actually shot this beautiful bird in her left wing. And somehow, this young bird managed to swim her way back to shore, where she was taken in by a special wildlife vet that saved her life. But unfortunately, they couldn't save that left wing of hers, and they had to amputate it below her elbow. So her missing that left wing completely takes away her ability to fly. It also gives her some balance issues as well. But bald eagles, they're one of the most recognizable and inspiring animals on this planet. But once again, we almost lost these big, beautiful animals. See, we almost lost the bald eagles due to a chemical called DDT. See, DDT was this American pesticide. People would spray it on their crops, and would even spray it on their children. And nobody was being hurt directly. That chemical would wash into the riverways. It would be absorbed by the fish. The eagles would then eat those fish, and the eagles themselves would survive. But they ended up with a calcium deficiency. That calcium deficiency resulted in the bald eagles laying extremely soft eggs. So when they would nest, the eggs would break, and no new generations of eagles were being born. Here's the thing, DDT was banned in the 70s, DDT was done, but the problem was still occurring and our national symbol was in danger of going extinct. It actually took the help of passionate people to go watch the bald eagles' nests, waiting for moms to lay their eggs. Right when those eggs were laid, they would chase mom away, which is not as easy as it sounds. They would take the soft eggs back to incubate them and leave fake eggs in the nest. Now, right when those babies hatched, they rushed them back to that very same nest, and this was working well. But the best part was, those babies didn't have the chemical in their system anymore. They were able to reproduce on their own. And this process worked so well that in 2007, the bald eagles were taken off the endangered species list, and our national symbol is thriving once again in our waterways. Absolutely. Now, bald eagles, though, these guys are incredible animals. She has eyesight that's 6 times better than yours or mine. She has close to 1,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in those talons of hers. And these birds are even known. If they catch a fish that's too heavy for them to fly with, they'll swim it back to shore. They are amazing fishers and scavengers, and I'm absolutely honored to be able to share her with you guys. But that is Spirit. Let's say goodbye to the bald eagle here.
Now this is Flip, the California desert tortoise. And unlike the bald eagle that you guys just met that was saved from the brink of extinction through human efforts, these awesome little guys actually have their homes decimated due to people grabbing them out of the wild to keep as pets. They just see them waddling along the roadways and they pick them right up. Now it got even worse though, when those same people got tired of taking care of these little guys, they released them back out into the wild. Now the problem with this was that those tortoises kept as pets, they actually had a respiratory disease that they passed on to those wild populations. So to stop this from continuing, California Fish and Wildlife actually granted permits to allow these guys to remain under human care to prevent the spread of disease. Now Flip here was actually one of those permitted tortoises. But get this, he just so happened to outlive his previous owner. He is now 70 years old, and he's one of our favorite little animals to bring out to you guys. He also just happens to be the state reptile of California. But let's say goodbye to Flip, the California desert tortoise.
Now, did you guys enjoy those animals? I hope you did. I hope you guys learned something. But because we get to work with all these awesome wild animals, people tend to ask us this one question. They tend to ask us what our favorite animal is. So today, I think I'm gonna do the opposite. Do you guys have a favorite animal? What's your favorite? I mean, orcas, cougars, some awesome other wild animals. I think I even heard one person say their husband. And I'll tell you what, we love the wildlife. That's why we do what we do. But my favorite animal, without question, without a doubt, is this next guest. His name is Basil. And you guys will definitely know what he is when you see him. Well, check him out. Come on out here, Basil. This is my favorite animal. I trust him, he trusts me. I know he wants to be with me. You have to know, the wild animals belong in nature where they're truly supposed to be. Now, we like to end each one of our presentations with just a few easy things that we're able to do to help protect our wild friends. Things like reducing single-use plastics and recycling, or picking up garbage and keeping the environments clean. Or if you find a sick or injured animal in the wild, call a wildlife rescue center. There are literally thousands of places to help give the animals the proper care they need to hopefully get them back out into the wild. And we thank you so much for coming and listening to our rescue tales, and enjoy the rest of your day here at SeaWorld, everybody. Thank you very much for coming.